Hi guys, so today I have another Valentine's Day tutorial for you, and yes, I'm wearing the same shirt that I was wearing in my makeup collection and organization video. You guys wanted to see a tutorial. Today I used the Tartalette palette. I mainly used the pink shade, which is called Caregiver. I used this kind of like mauve Natural Beauty, and then I used Best Friend and a little bit of Bombshell. I love this palette. It's an all matte palette. I have another video using this on a more like neutral eye, but this one's more of like a pinky, and I kind of winged it out with my shadows. So I figured this look could be like a daytime or nighttime look depending on how much you smoke out the lower lash line. Jaclyn Hill did put up a video using this, and she kind of used like pinky tones too. She did not smoke out the lower lash line, and I loved how it looked on her. So that's more of like a daytime look. I kind of did this where I did smoke out the bottom with the purple color. I think it looks, you know, sexy, and I did kind of wing out the shadow as well. And I did use tape to kind of create an edge and to kind of like wing out my shadow and my liquid liner. So enough of me talking. I know you guys want to see the video, so if you'd like to see how I got this look, then keep on watching. So after moisturizing my lips, I went ahead and moisturized my face with this new Smashbox Primer Water. So it's like a 2-in-1. It actually primes your face, and you can use it to set your foundation as well. And I've been absolutely loving it so far. Definitely for dry skin girls, if you want to use it as a primer anyway. Now I'm just jumping right into my brows, and I have a whole brow routine, so I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but I'm using the Anastasia Brow Wiz in soft brown like always.
It must be something that I could get to show you. I want you around. Don't think I could with another. Got that body that stands me right up. Do them things I like. Don't think I could get enough. I want it to be.
So I'm using tape to give me a sharper edge, and I actually put it on my hand before just to kind of loosen up the glue so that it's not as harsh and so that it doesn't like rip your skin. But you just want to use like a gentle tape, nothing too crazy. You can use like blue masking tape as well, or even a sharp edge. And now I'm just priming my lids with the MAC Painterly Paint Pot. Now I'm jumping into the Sonia Kashuk Eye on Neutral Matte 02 palette, and I'm using the first shade in the second row, and it's a beautiful transition color. Now I'm going in with Supermom from the Tartalette palette, and I'm putting this on my brow bone and in the inner portions of my eye for a nice pop of whites, and this really opens up your eyes and it gives you a wider, bigger eye. So I always do this. And now I'm using the shade Caregiver, which is the main color of this tutorial, and I'm using I think this is a hair and makeup addiction brush, and I'm applying this on my lid, and I'm really packing it on and then blending it, and then I'm going to kind of just wing it out. So you're going to see this motion a lot where I wing out the shadow, and we're going to be carving out our crease afterwards. I feel like it's a lot easier to place this color first and then apply your crease color in this case, because we're going to be using a pretty dark shade in the crease. So you want to really like pack on this color so that it's very intense, and then you want to apply your darker colors later. That's just what works for me. I find it a lot easier to blend once you have the intensity that you want on the actual lid. Now I'm going in with the shade Natural Beauty. It's a nice mauve or mauvey shade, and it kind of has some like taupiness to it. It's like a cool toned color, and I'm applying this in my crease with a Sigma brush, and I'm also going to be winging this out but on top of the pink. So I'm not blending it into the pink at the end, I'm just kind of winging it over it, if that makes any sense. So you're kind of creating like a double wing, if you want to say that. So just over it, blending it, and then bringing it outwards towards the tape, like in the direction of that the tape is going in. Now I'm just going to be applying Supermom to that little wing that we have, just to give it a little bit more intensity and give it a little more pop. This look is all about layers because you really want the color, the lid color, to pop out, as well as the crease color too. So that's what I'm doing here. And then what I'm going to do right after is just blend the pink and the white colors, just to kind of give you a nice baby pink effect, and so that it's not so white and it's not so pink. So it's kind of like an in-between color. Now I'm using Best Friend, a really pretty kind of purpley color, and I'm using a Morphe brush, and I'm carving out my crease with this. So what I like to do is place my brush sideways so that I can blend it upwards. This will give you a really nice cut crease. So I'm just kind of outlining everything and just giving me a cut crease. Let me know if you want like more videos doing this kind of technique, but like you see here, I kind of put it on its side and blend upwards. It really gives you a lot of precision, and you can blend and also cut your crease at the same time with the same brush, so it's awesome. Now I'm going in with Wanderer, and I'm just using this to kind of blend everything out. It's a nice warm neutral color.
Bigger than the ocean.
And for a liner, I'm using the MAC 210 brush and the Inglot number 77 gel liner. It's the blackest gel liner you will ever find, and I'm sorry I only got to film one eye, and I barely even got that in the frame. I don't know how that happens. It just never works out. And I know my eyebrow is a little out of place. I will fix that later. I didn't notice. Now I'm applying a little bit more of Best Friend into the crease, and then just kind of winging that upwards and outwards. And I'm using a pencil brush from MAC. And for a foundation, I'm using the Becca Ultimate Coverage Complexion Cream in the shade Nude. And I'm using a Sigma F80 brush. I actually sprayed some Fix Plus on it so that the application can be a lot smoother. This is a really, really amazing like medium to full coverage foundation. I would recommend it for oily or normal skin girls. I will have a whole video on it. I pinky promise I'll do a whole review. I didn't want to do a first impression because I really wanted to gather my thoughts and wear it a couple of times, but just know that I'm absolutely in love with it. And girl, you want to look flawless, and this foundation also photographs really, really nicely. Now I'm mixing this Bare Minerals shade, what is this called? Stroke of Light in the shade 02, and I'm using a little bit of the Kevyn Aucoin Skin Enhancer in the shade, I have it here, SX04, and I'm mixing them both because the Kevyn Aucoin is a lot thicker than the Bare Minerals. The Bare Minerals kind of shears it out, and I'm using the Sigma like 3D HD Kabuki concealer brush, and I love it. It's so precise, and it really gets underneath your eye, and it gives you a nice clean look. It's great to clean up concealer if you want that sharp edge. And don't forget to bring your concealer inwards, because if you don't blend this, it's gonna be very obvious. And bringing the concealer inner, like into the, what am I saying? in the inner part of your eye, I'm having, I don't know what, it makes you look a lot more awake. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, don't judge me. Now I'm using the Ben Nye Cameo Powder. I like it a lot more than the Banana on fair skin girls, so that's why I'm using that. And then my favorite brush is by Sigma. It's the E36. It is amazing. It's the best brush, I swear, like for any cut crease. It's amazing. Now I'm using this Ico mascara, but I'm going to be applying lashes, so I'm just applying a couple of quick coats. You don't have to use falsies, but I always do. But quickly, I'm going to just do this white in the inner portion of my eye. It's a cream. It's a NYX Wonder Pencil, and I absolutely love it. And then I'm going to contour my cheeks while my glue is drying on my lashes. And I'm using the Kat Von D Shade Light Palette, which I absolutely adore. And I'm using this MAC brush. I will list it down below. And I'm just contouring them cheekbones, so, you know, you can look chiseled like you've been hitting the gym hard, girl. And I like this because it's a nice gray toned. You want to use like a gray tone for your contour. For lashes, I'm using Red Cherry number 523. Love these. They're so wispy, so flirty, and so girly, and they don't look too crazy. Like, I know you guys are so tired of seeing the Iconics by House of Lashes on me, so I figured I'd switch it up and use some Red Cherries. They're really inexpensive, and I get mine at a beauty supply store. And I'm using the House of Lashes glue, which is the only glue that I'll use. Now I'm using the Smashbox Contour. It's the Suntan Matte, and I'm using that same MAC brush, a little bit of shedding, to warm up my face. So I like to contour and then use a warmer orangey toned bronzer to actually bronze my face. You want to use two different colors. You don't want to use the same shade for both. Some people can get away with like a warm contour, but yeah. Now I'm using this Becca blush, and I believe this is Songbird or Flower Child. I'll also leave it down below, I'm sorry. But I'm using a Becca blush, and I'm just applying this upwards. That's just how I like my blush, but you apply your brush how you want to apply your blush, girl. And now I'm using the Smashbox highlight in Shimmer. absolutely love this, and try using an eyeshadow brush for your highlight. It really works. It's very precise and I love it. It's amazing.
You make me never wanna love again. You make me never wanna love again. And now I'm trying to forget you, but it's hard when the feeling's still there. Thinking about the good times and all the memories that we shared. But girl, you let it all go. I never thought I'd see the day.
And like always, I use the Dip Brow by Anastasia in medium brown to really carve out my brows. And here I am fixing that little brow blooper that was going on the side of my brow, and I had no idea. And I'm actually using the MAC brush that I talked about in my eyebrow routine to do my eyebrows, so definitely check that video out. Now I'm using MAC Whirl Lip Liner, one of my new favorites. I've been obsessing over it. It's the perfect color for my lips because my lips are pretty pigmented. Now I'm using Too Faced Nude Beach for my lipstick. And I know I apply my lipstick a little funny. You don't have to remind me. I don't know, I'm just used to applying it like this. It's weird. And this is optional, so I'm smoking out my lash line with Best Friend and a little bit of Bombshell. And I'm using the same MAC pencil brush, and I'm going to show you the difference. Boom. The one without the smoked out lash line is perfect for daytime, but I was just feeling a little smoky, so I decided to do that. And then I'm applying a little bit more of Supermom on my brow bone and in the inner portion of my eye to really open up and make your eyes look really awake, like you've been sleeping forever. Girl, looks like you had your beauty sleep on point, even if you didn't. And then I'm going to, what am I going to do? Smoke out my lash line a little more with Bombshell, but this time I'm tightly packing that color just on the edges of my eye. Now I'm using MAC Give Me Sun. It's very, very warm. I personally like that. I like a warm bronzer. It's very orange, but I don't mind. Now I'm using my only mascara that I use on my bottom lashes, MAC Zoom Fast Black Lash. It doesn't transfer onto my skin, and I'm obsessed with it. Now applying a little bit of Myth in the inner portion of my lips. And then I'm just going to set my face with some powder. This is the MAC Prep and Prime Translucent Powder, and we are all done. Mwah. My dogs are barking. And I don't know what's going on with my brows today. They look really harsh. I'm sorry in advance, but keep on watching. Hey, Peru. I just see eyebrows right now. What's good with the brows today? They look really close. I don't know. Can I just like powder them off? No? They be hating on my girl though. And they was the bitch they hating. Hey, I want more highlight, more highlight, more highlight, more highlight. Jumping from my girl with a cool that they knew about it, rockin', she's so bad. I don't know what to do with her. I know just what to do in her. My homies in here.
My vision been bigger than a bigger picture. Crazy how you gotta wait until it's dark out to see who really wishes. Then girl, how about now? Cause I'm up right now. Hey, it's up right now.